welcome to another edition of winemastery.co.uk. I'm John Lightfoot and this is
John Murphy.
And this is our episode number 2, where we're going to follow on from our introductory episode and talk a little bit more about how we're going to taste the wine and the progress we're going to take you through, the path we're going to take you down. So, our first tasting, how will it start and how are we going to decide what we're going to guide our good people with?
Well, I think first we do need to decide whether you're going down the red path or the white path, obviously. And what I would say is we start off with the basics on both sides. I mean, obviously there are thousands of white grapes and thousands of red grapes. Some very obscure ones, very unheard of. But what we're going to try and do to begin with is start you with maybe 3 or 4 of the main grapes, both on the white side and the red side. We'll probably do the whites for one episode, then the reds, and then we're going to get a little bit more intricate on each style. I think for our whites we'll probably do maybe Chenin, Sauvignon, South Chardonnay, sorry, and then maybe Pinot Grigio. Then what we'll do with those is we'll kind of go down different countries of each grape style and show you the difference there. And I think the same with the reds as well. If we pick the kind of the more basic ones which everybody does know, perhaps your Cabernet Sauvignon, Shiraz, Pinot Noir, Merlot, that style. I mean, all very different styles. And again, what we'll do is once we get a kind of basic understanding of those grapes, we'll then kind of shoot off into, again, different countries, you know, Cabernet Sauvignon from South Africa, one from Australia, we'll see the difference there. And then we'll look at a kind of price difference as well, which I think is quite important. Is it worth paying more for a certain wine, and which countries offer the best value for money as well, because that's quite an important thing. So I reckon what we'll do is we will start off on the basic styles and see which kind of styles you might then like, and then we can tune into which one you would fancy going down there. So I reckon if we start, of course, with the whites, it would be our first episode.
There may be some people wondering, because one of the colours you missed out is pink.
Yeah, oh yes, indeed, rosé. Well, I think over the course of the few months as well, we'll look at some roses. We may even look at some sparkling and some port. There are many different lines we will be going down. So we'll let you choose, and obviously, as we say, please leave a comment, see what you do fancy going for, and we will hopefully oblige.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things that I know that wine connoisseurs tend to use is different glasses for different wines. Is that important, or when we're starting?
Well, as we're starting, I'd probably say no. As we do get along, different wine glasses do actually make quite a difference. But I think to start off with, as I say, we would fairly basic starting up. So I would probably say just an ordinary wine glass will do is absolutely fine. Perhaps if you fancy them and you don't have to, but as we are going down, we're looking at the different grapes and things, we'll have a look at different shapes of glasses, and if you fancy getting them in, it is quite interesting to see what a difference that can make to your wine.
Okay, so yeah, I guess when we get a little bit further down, it will be interesting to see if I'm able to, as a wine dummy, taste the difference between one glass and another.
Yeah, it can.
I mean, is there a sense of occasion? I mean, people, just for people that are sort of going. I remember when I was a young lad, which was a little while ago. I remember going into a restaurant and just as a sort of, as a hint to people, going into a restaurant and seeing people around me swilling it around and sniffing it and then making all sorts of noises in their mouth. Is that necessary?
Again, not 100% necessary, but when, like, obviously we go out and we do a lot of wine tasting, it's on a different level. Obviously there are literally thousands and thousands of wines, thousands of Cabernet Sauvignons, and when you're actually out doing the tastings, there are very subtle little differences, and it's our job to find the subtle differences in there. So there are actually quite a lot of boxes to tick within that wine world, but as it starts and as we start off, I would say no. We are gonna go fairly basic. Again, as we get further down, I will teach you techniques on how to actually taste the wine, get enough from it. As you said, those silly noises, the smelling. It will make a difference. But again, we're going to start very basic, get it started, and then we'll go from there.
Absolutely, you need to know whether you like red, white, or rosé before you start getting a little bit more focused on the particular taste.
Yeah, well, I will say though, it is very. Once you start going down these lines, it is very, very interesting, and it's not for me. It's not just a career; it's a hobby as well. Finding these wines and finding the intricate differences in there, it does become a lot of fun.
Excellent. So we talked a bit about the white wines and the red wines that we're. So the next video will be on the YouTube will be all about white wines.
Yeah.
And then the one after that will be moving to red, and we'll be alternating them like that week on week as we go through all of, well, not all of them, but as many wines as we can get through. So the reds, what are we going to be tasting in terms of start off with reds?
Well, again, we are going to look at the kind of the main grapes, the grapes everybody does know, the grapes that are available. Wherever, which will be Cabernet Sauvignon, Shiraz, Merlot and Pinot Noir. And again, there are massive differences in here. What I would like to do though is, because, I mean, you might not know what you like yet, so I'm going to probably start off quite light with your reds and work our way up there. Because, I mean, even for myself, I don't particularly like really heavy red wines. They can be a bit too much. But some people really like the big heavy ones, and the lighter ones just don't hit the spot as such. So what we will do is we'll start off quite light, but show you definite styles between the first four, and then we can move those in then and find out which style you like, and then we'll go down that line.
And I guess before you actually, when you get to the next video, if you're trying the white wines with us, I guess really you shouldn't have just brushed your teeth.
No, definitely no. Again, there are a few things that will make you get more enjoyment from your wine. Obviously, don't brush your teeth just beforehand. That will kill the flavour of your wine. And
assuming you're using toothpaste.
Well, assuming that, you do need a kind of a clean palate. So I know that sounds like technical even in itself, but just something like crackers or bread, just kind of help clean that palate. So there's nothing really obstructing the flavour of the wine. It just makes it a little bit easier to actually pick out the flavours of your wine.
Excellent. Well, I'm really looking forward to our first tasting. I hope you are. So we'll see you in about a week's time.
See you then.
Ciao. How was that?